Welcome to You're On in 5, The Art of Understudying.
The only podcast to celebrate the work of actors in understudy roles.
Understudying demands tons of preparation with minimal rehearsal.
Or sometimes none at all.
But it can end in triumphant glory.
In these conversations, we will amplify the diverse voices of actors who have understudied. We want to hear about the actor's technique, experience, and journey.
As well as whatever's on our mind that day.
All right. Welcome to You're On in 5. I am Scott Sava. You might know me from this video. This is the first video we ever did.
I am Elana Elise, and I'm in here for the first time, too.
Woohoo! And joining us today, we have two understudies from the currently running The House That Will Not Stand from Invictus Theatre Company. We have Karli Scott and Quenna Lene. Welcome, both of you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Good to see you. We're going to start with our standard first question, which is, what was your first understudy gig? Let's start with Quenna.
Okay, I think this was my first understudy gig. It was at ETA, which is a theater on the south side of Chicago, one of the very few Black theaters on the south side of Chicago. And I don't remember the name of the show, but I was understudying Melanie Loren. And that was long ago.
That's awesome. And Karli, yours?
Yeah, mine is actually pretty recently. Mine was last year it was Beneath the Willow Tree with Aaron Reese Bozeman, who's directing The House That Will Not Stand, and also written by Isis Elizabeth, who's the assistant director on The House That Will Not Stand. So,
nice. Yeah. Oh, that is fun. We are going to have some questions specifically about The House That Will Not Stand, but do you want to talk about your experiences on those first gigs or any understudy opportunities you've taken on between that first one and this one? Well, actually, Karli, this is your second time understudying ever. Okay. Quenna, you have like any stories, anything to share anytime you had to go on in 5, you know?
Well, there was one time, I can't remember the name of the theater, but the show was Good Friday. And I don't even know if my director, who was Tara Branham, and it's a play written by Christiana Ray Colon. So I don't even know if they knew this, but I was called to go on for Melissa Dupree. And I was in like Atlanta or something, somewhere not in Chicago. And they were like, hey, no pressure, but if you could you go on tonight? And I was like, yeah. So I changed my flight. I finished learning the lines on the plane. I got there for the put in, and we rocked it.
Oh my goodness.
Cow.
It's wild.
Was that Oracle Theater?
And maybe it was Oracle.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
That is amazing. I hope they hear this. If not, I'm going to send them both emails and tell them that this happened.
It's like, I don't know if I told anybody, but I was like, yeah, that was my job. It was like, no, right, I'm supposed to go on. So we made it happen.
Kudos to you. That's incredible. I love that. I love everything about that, except for that you had to leave Atlanta. Right?
Right.
It's fine.
Awesome.
How did the show go?
The show went well. Yeah, it went well. And then I had to keep going on. Melissa had some things that happened at that point. But no, I think it was a good show. I don't recall any sort of, it was also some time ago and my memory is what it is. So,
yeah.
But I think
it was perfect.
Fine.
It was
great.
Scott,
awesome. Karli, was there what was your experience on your first understudy show?
Yeah, it was pretty great. I feel like that was just a great cast and a great understudy cast too. So it was great working on that show. And I feel like we did have one like understudy show. I feel like it wasn't the best on my end. I think, yeah, but it happened. and I feel like I learned a lot on that show. That's a good thing. Yeah. So
Yeah. Awesome.
Definitely. Yeah. It's funny because, as actors, understudying is not like our first job. Like we want to be in the room. We want to be in, the ones saying the lines, but we can learn a lot from those experiences. And sometimes they don't go well. Like one of my first experiences understudying, I'm so grateful I didn't have to go on because I would have bombed. I was in the show and I was understudying the two male leads. They had a lot of dancing and songs and everything. And like, it would have been bad if I had to go on personally. So totally. Yeah. Um, what about this show? How is this show? Like we can start with like, how have you felt like integrated into rehearsals? And like, what was your first experience being in the room with everybody?
yeah, I feel like it's been a great experience so far. In the rehearsal process, it was um, very inclusive. I feel like, especially like during, for me, one of like the bigger things that I feel like is important to get a hold of is like the fight choreography because it's so specific. And for rehearsal and stuff, they allowed us to like switch out with the principal actors and get to try the fight choreography, which was really helpful. But yeah, so we got to do stuff like that and jump in and yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think this has been a really sort of deep understudy process where we have been pretty included and integrated. I think all of, or most of us as understudies were there at first rehearsal, the second day. I think, we've been there multiple times a week, like Karli said, have gone on to do the fight choreo, and then a number of the actors, right? They've had conflicts, and so they really utilized us as understudies in the room when the overstudies aren't able to be there. We've been, standing in place. So I know for one of the tech rehearsals, I was called in and went on. It might have been we were in costume
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
for one of the roles that I'm understudying. So that was, very useful to be able to run the track in the
Yeah.
space, in the costuming, and all of that.
Totally. And so that leads right. So you're doing more than one track for the house that will not stand. And
Yeah.
Karli, are you?
Yeah, I'm doing one
Oh, just
track.
one. Okay.
Just one.
Um, so then Quenna, tell us about that. Like what's the weight of that? Like, how are you
It's
handling that?
hard. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
hard, y'all. I
Yeah.
was like, this is tough. So yeah, I mean, even and they're sisters that I'm understudying, the two sort of elder women in the play,
Hmm.
and it's interesting to be talking to myself when I'm learning the lines in that way. But yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of like dialect work in this play, and so making sure that each of them has their own, but they're obviously they come from the same family, but they're also very different women, and so my prep has just been yeah, it's a lot to do for both of them, but really trying to you want to do them both justice.
Yeah.
But the overstudies are doing such great work that it's like, okay, cool. I can see how you're interpreting this. Maybe I'll keep some of that for this role, and how you're interpreting this other piece, I might keep some of that. So it's been nice to just like watch and study them as well. But then obviously have my own kind of approach to it.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Carly, this is for you. Do you feel and then Quenna, because we're gonna come back to you. Like you can have part of your like bring your own stuff while incorporating the overstudy stuff. Like what's your experience with like parsing out what absolutely has to be and what you can bring based on your talent and interests and skills or whatever?
Yeah, it's I feel like as an understudy there's like a lot of opportunity to, take from the principal actor, which I really appreciate. So I feel like I definitely like try and take as much as possible and like kind of use the principal actor as a cheat sheet. But then I feel like there's some lines that like you can't really like, because we're different people, you just can't say it the same way.
Mhm.
So like for those sorts of things, I will, sort of add my own flair to it. But yeah.
And so then it sounds like they've created a space that welcomes that. Both of you feel
Yeah,
like
I
there's
feel that
that.
way. Hmm.
That's really great. Karli, have you ever played more than one role in the same show, even if you weren't understudying?
No, I have not, and I'm definitely not jealous of Quenna in that sense. Yeah,
Quenna,
I
have
don't know
you?
how you guys do
I know,
it.
Quenna, have you ever done that in either as a principal or a previous understudy?
Definitely not as a previous understudy. As a principal, I don't think so. I'm like, what's on my resume? I don't know, but
It's like
I'm like, so I do a lot of devised work also, and so in that, right, like we're often just an amalgamation of people.
right.
Um, so like in that way, but it's still just like one track. Like that's how the track was designed to be, is
Yeah.
those characters, right? So I might be like Martha Washington, but then also like I don't know, colonial person X.
Right, right.
Um, yeah.
It's a thing. Like I've played, I think the maximum number of characters I've played in a single show is 27. At this, I've done a show where I played 27 characters, and it's bananas because I'm like, I realized after a while that people think I'm good at that, right? So like then they're
No.
like, "Oh, we need somebody who can play," and reach out. And I did something earlier this year where it was just one character. Well, it was two characters, one track, two characters, and then the person who directed that was directing something I think at ETA and asked me, but it's really physical, and I was having some body issues, so I didn't trust being able to do it, but the fact that he was like, we need somebody who can do these seven characters. And I'm like, that's really sweet. I yeah, so but I've understudied two tracks once. But I know someone who, like, when she first came to Chicago, she understudied like seven. And I thought it was brutal to ask someone to understudy seven tracks, right? Like that's rude. But that was a long time ago. Hopefully that doesn't happen anymore, because we are bringing more attention to the value of the job of understudying. Um, um, so then, curiously, I think you kind of touched on it. Well, you touched on what you were able to do, but what were the actual expectations as they were given to you in your contract? Like how many rehearsals a week, the tech schedule, what's your responsibility during the run of the show? Like that's actually like Invictus mandated. Either.
I think it's like for rehearsals, was it one rehearsal a week? Maybe it was
I
more.
think it was two.
Okay, yeah.
Hmm.
Two rehearsals per week during the regular rehearsal period. Tech, it wasn't super specified in the contract, but ISIS told us to like be at first dress and last preview, which made a lot of sense.
Mhm.
Um, and then for the run of the show, we're expected to watch one performance a week.
And then do
And
they
then we also have understudy rehearsals.
nice? And do they have clarity on like be nearby exactly for that half hour before curtain or etc. They don't have any. Well, don't go to Atlanta, anybody.
It's funny. I was supposed to like take a trip last weekend and I had totally forgotten to like list that in my conflicts. And then so at our understudy rehearsal, I just went to Aaron and Isis and I was like, what do y'all think? And they were like, you should be here. And I was like, okay, fine. That's fair.
Like they would say
Yeah.
anything else. I'd be worried if they were like, "Oh no, go ahead, go." You know,
Right. Especially with two roles.
right? You do that, and
Yeah.
then stay. In fact, uh,
Oh, have you had any performances where you've had to step in yet?
I go on tonight, actually.
Oh, that's
wow,
awesome. How are
yeah.
you feeling?
Pretty good. It was planned, so I've known since before opening. So I'm
Okay.
like,
You're
I feel
good.
good. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Carly?
I have not. Yeah,
Yeah. And you
and
Did
I
do.
you
don't
have?
have any planned dates or anything.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Yeah.
Now, does Invictus give guaranteed, like, give like a performance run, understudy run at all? Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
At least not with this show because most of us are understudying two roles.
I
There's that.
Like
see.
three of the five of us are, yeah, doubling.
Hmm.
Wow.
Oh, wow. And so there are only five understudies. Okay. I don't know why I
And
thought there was
eight total roles.
eight.
Something like that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
okay.
is that how math works?
It's too
Yeah,
early
yeah.
for these numbers. We don't need those numbers. Uh,
Right.
Oh wait, no, no, because I keep so the like artistic director is also an understudy, and I always often forget to count him. So
Oh,
ah,
six
okay.
understudies for eight roles.
okay, got
Oh,
you.
nice. Cool.
Awesome. Um, okay, so this breakdown, right? That we like to do. We've treated it as like a question of the week, and so we're curious about your pre-show rituals, whether understudy or overstudy. Like when you are going to perform, what do you do to prepare yourself? Carly, will you start?
Yeah. I actually don't have like much experience actually performing because my only time performing ever, or professionally, I guess, I've done like middle school, musicals and stuff. But my only time performing was in Beneath the Willow Tree on the Understudy show, um, and I feel like I didn't have any pre-show rituals then. I feel like just meditating is something that I try to do.
Hmm.
Um, before performing just to clear my mind. But yeah, yeah, that's all.
Okay.
That's a big one. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
and also like, if you haven't had that many performances, then like,
Mhm.
you're still developing your process
Mhm.
and what works for you.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's really cool. Quenna?
Yeah, I think it depends on the role, but generally, like a physical warm up. I trained in a very like physical theater based program in undergrad, and so some elements I still keep some of those things. But one of the things that we did that always really works to help me just like drop in is Grotowski's The Cat exercise, if you know it. It's very, very physically intense. So that and then like a vocal warm up, but also
I
like
actually can I bug you on that? Well, I'm not
yeah,
sure I know the cat.
yeah.
Well, can you
It's
describe
like
that?
yeah, you like are on the ground and you start on the ground really, really low and you're like, you lift your face and you're just like looking around. And then you start to kind of like undulate on the ground. And then you're adding like breath work into it. So it's very physical.
Oh,
Like
cool.
cannot do it in this very public space right now, but it can be intense. And so like if I have like a private space, I
Yeah.
can do that. But if not, there's like isolations that I like to do.
Mm.
Just like start by isolating one body part, and then eventually move everywhere. But yeah, I can send you a link to it if you're interested.
Cool. I might.
It's really great, Scott. I forget how I know it because I don't really do it in theater, but there are times I've done it like to wake my body up and it helps like so I'm old and so sometimes I wake up like really sore. Like I wake up like who ran me over with a Mack truck, right? In my sleep. And to do that, one, gets my blood flowing, but also takes the mental part off of the pain. And and I don't know that I do it like as prescribed, like in terms of what Quenna may know as trained in it. But do like it's like the physical coming alive, but also because my body like it helps, just that blood flow helps release that tension that the Mack truck put on me. And so by the time I'm like up to my feet or what, like it's like this whole like it's good, it's good, whatever. I don't know why I'm still talking about it. Um, just I recommend if she sends the link, please check it out. You might like it.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
it
definitely.
for real life. I've literally never done it for a theater. But
Huh.
how do you both feel? I guess you too, Scott, about like group warm ups, like when you're in an ensemble cast. Do you like that or prefer your independent warm ups?
I like both. And again, because I come from a devising background, we often are doing a group warm up. So I did work for a number of years with Theater Unspeakable, and we absolutely always did like a group warm up and group rituals. And I love that, like sort of just like, we got each other kind of spirit and energy.
Yeah, Carly, have you experienced a group warm up?
I've done like yeah, it a couple times, and I feel like it's definitely helpful. I feel like it's helpful in the sense of like just being on the same page with the rest of the cast and just feeling connected. I like that aspect of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And Scott, how about you?
Hmm. Thank you, Alana, for the question. Um, um, I can't remember the last time I actually like did that with a cast because I feel like a lot of actors are just like, that's corny or they want to focus on their makeup or I mean, maybe not their makeup, but it's, whatever they're focused on. So, but I did just direct a kids show on the suburbs, and I made them do group warm ups every single show, and I always do that with them because I think it encourages ensemble feeling and listening to each other. I mean, and with third through sixth graders, they really need to listen more, you know. So
Yeah,
and I mean, all of us could listen more. It's just a good tool and interesting to watch on stage. So it's good to warm that up together.
agreed.
Alana?
And I love a group warm up. Like and there have been times where I'm like I've insisted, right? Because and like
Yeah.
nobody's ever like nobody regrets it, even if they thought they
Right.
didn't feel. I'm like, come on, especially if it's the cast of four or more, and we're telling the story together. Um, but even when it's a small group, like two or three, like having check-in time, even if you don't like do actual warm-ups, but like really just make the effort to be intentional about coming together pre-show, is something that I've been able to do and really, really appreciate. Um,
Yeah, it's funny when you're on stage when you get on stage with somebody and you're like, "Oh, I didn't even say hi to you today." And it's like and it feels awful kind of in a lot of ways because you're just like, "Oh gosh, I forgot to acknowledge you as a human before we go and play these other humans, or
yeah.
bunnies or whatever the fuck we're doing." Um so that was the last show I did. Yeah, no, it's good when you have that practice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm going to say this, but I don't know how it's going to work out. It's time for props. And so usually we have a beat come in right there. So it kind of works. Hopefully we can make that happen. All right.
And in props, we like to give shouts out to anybody who helps us in our understudy journey. These can include assistant directors, stage managers, other understudies, our overstudies, our mom who runs lines with us. It can include anybody and everybody. So why don't we start with Quenna? Who's helped you through this particular process or any processes in the past?
Yeah, I mean, lots of people for this process. Certainly, ISIS has been really wonderful with all of our understudy rehearsals. Um, and Erin, making us feel very included from the top of the process. I think generally the company at Invictus has been really warm and welcoming to all of us, and the cast. Right, it's really felt like a family, and we maybe we're like extended cousins or something, but they're just as excited when we're in the room, and so that's really lovely. So my overstudy, who I'm going on for tonight. Um, she like we did a put in for me after their shows last weekend, and she was like, this is the makeup that I use to do this, and make sure you know how to, so she was just like walking me through some of the tracks. Britt Edwards is the overstudy for who I'm going on tonight, but yeah, in the put in, just was really helpful in showing me some of the pieces of the track that I may not know. And like some of the costume pieces we have to share, she's just like, here's something you need to know about this, and so that's been really cool. And then my partner Jelani Julius, who's also a performer, has been running lines with me late in the evening, so gratitude to him. Yeah, so lots of people. I'm very grateful.
Yeah,
Awesome.
awesome. Karli?
Yeah, I will shout out the whole Invictus team as well. They've been amazing. And Isis has been amazing in rehearsals, and Aaron and the whole cast. Yeah, it's definitely been, they've all been really kind. Um, yeah, and then I'll give a shout out to the person that I understudied in Beneath the Willow Tree. She's also actually an actor in The House That Will Not Stand. She's Sierra Coachman. She plays Mudlin, but she was amazing in especially during the understudy showcase. Like, she came before and made sure like I didn't have any questions, and was super kind about it, and even brought a bouquet of flowers. And she's just really kind. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. I feel all warm and fuzzy. Uh,
So our final question is just like, what is something that you kind of wish your younger self knew when you were starting out? And Karli, you seem kind of young, right?
5 minutes ago is
Yeah,
when
right.
Karli
So,
started.
but you've learned things. Maybe there's something that you wish you had learned earlier.
Yeah, I think especially like there can be a sense early on as an actor of like, I'm going to get out of school and then I'm going to be famous, and that's just not the case. And so I think probably for my younger self, just some more like grace, and just imbuing me with the sense of like the journey, right? And to really enjoy the journey. And like it's going to be unexpected, and it's going to take you to do some things that you didn't even know were possible, right? Like you started out being interested in this one thing, but actually that's been a doorway to all of these other things. So maybe just a little bit of like, yeah, be graceful and patient with yourself, and enjoy the journey, I think is what I'd say.
Love that. Karli, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I would give myself the advice to just start earlier. Because for me, I feel like I had like the sort of viewpoint that like acting had to be either like, Broadway or like Hollywood level, or like, you can't do acting. So like I really didn't wasn't familiar with like how there's like storefront theaters in Chicago that, you can, that are like pretty accessible, and like you don't have to go to Broadway to be an actor. So I always thought of it as like pretty inaccessible, but I feel like I would just give myself the advice to just get started and, try. And I also feel like, in another sense, I feel like I talk to a lot of like actors who want to act but just, don't know how to start or like take the leap. Um, and like, they've taken classes, but they're like, oh, but I need to get new headshots, or I need to do this class first before like, actually going to auditions, or like reaching out to agents and stuff. And I feel like just getting started was the most helpful thing for me, because um, like, for example, with Beneath the Willow Tree, like I didn't really, like, I think that was my first like in-person audition for anything like professional ever. So like, and I didn't expect anything out of it, but by like going to that audition, I feel like that was a great opportunity that I took the leap sort of. And yeah, so I would have liked to do that sooner, I feel like. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
I like that. I like hearing new stuff. So
Yeah.
it's great. So Karli and Quenna are in the House That Will Not Stand at Invictus Theatre, and it runs through, is it December 14th? Okay,
Something like that.
we'll get that information into the airing of this somehow. I think it's December 14th, but I don't know.
It'll
And
scroll
so
underneath your face right now.
yeah, we're fancy. And so thank you both for taking the time this morning to be with us. Like we're
Yeah,
very
thank
excited.
you.
But we really appreciate it. This was fun. I hope you have enjoyed yourself for these minutes we've shared together.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah. We hope you enjoyed our conversation today with Quenna, Lene, and Karli Scott, and that it gives deeper insight into the art of understudying.
To send us a question or give a suggestion of someone we should interview, email us at understudypodcast@gmail.com.
Or hit us up at UnderstudyPod on Facebook and Instagram.
We want to thank all of our Patreon subscribers, especially Marcella Huff and Stanley Sava.
If you want to support the show, head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/understudypod.
Our theme song and all other music are by Laura Mackenzie.
Our episodes are edited by me and produced by myself and Elana.
Thanks so much for listening. If you liked it, please hit subscribe on your podcast player of choice and tell your friends.
If you hated it, tell your enemies.
And their parents.
Their stupid parents.
And go see The House That Will Not Stand at Invictus Theatre.
Through December 14th, I think.